For you, like I said, from a small town in Louisiana, did you always have like bigger dreams in Louisiana?
Yeah, I grew up always wanting to be a part of the industry and in the creative space, and it was always a dream of mine. And then also, like, my mom loved it as well, just as much as I did.
Yeah.
So, whenever you grow up, luckily, like, it's something I've always wanted to do. But whenever you grow up, and like my mom and I just always had these dreams for myself, and she named me Emma Brooks as a stage name. Like, that was literally like, I'm not kidding. Like, she was
That's
like, if
incredible.
you ever want, if you ever decide to go that direction, then you have your name. And I mean, I personally love Emma Brooks. So I always wanted to. And I kind of started back in high school trying to put myself in a position where it could happen. And that's why I quit dancing, was because I went into pageants full time, because it was like, there's a lot of pageant girls that have become models and
Yeah.
that were a part of that world that did become successful. And there's like kind of two routes that you can go in the pageant world, but there is a way to kind of make it into the industry, and there's more opportunity there. So I did that, and then I started doing that when I was 14, and I also started shooting as much as possible, and I did every single local fashion week I could: Acadiana Fashion Week, Coastal
Yeah.
Fashion Week, New Orleans Fashion Week, and just was kind of like doing all of the anything and everything to put myself out there. And I remember when I was 15, I was just about to turn 15, and I went to New York for the first time to sign with a modeling agency. It was like a modeling agency, but it
Yeah.
was in my brain. I was like, oh my God. And I
I
did my
made
first,
it.
yeah, I did my first test shoot in Brooklyn. And I was just, that was like an aha moment for me. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this can happen. So I've always had a love for it, and I've always wanted it.
Do you know what drew you to it though? Like, did you see something on TV, young, or social media? Was it
It
Keeping Up with
was
the Kardashians?
America's Next Top Model,
Okay.
and was Tyra Banks. And I just absolutely adored everything about it, especially just because in that show at the time, sometimes when you rewatch it, it did not age well.
Yeah.
That's fine. But whenever I was growing up, whenever I was younger, I looked at it as such like a way of self-expression and as art, rather than
Yeah.
something commercial and something to sell, because that's what the competitions were. It was like to not sell something, but to create art with your body and with an image. And I
Yeah.
just loved that.
But I have to imagine growing up in a small town in Louisiana, saying that out loud, people were probably like, what the hell are you talking about?
It definitely was not received well for a while. It was just like, it was also just, I think, deemed cringy. And I mean, obviously I look back at my photos and what I posted, but it's like, I was 14. Like, of course it wasn't like, it's South Louisiana. But, I think they didn't see it as like, oh, like, I respect that. It was also very unnecessarily mean sometimes. And I think that people kind of just were like, oh, she's weird. And also, I don't think people believed it would work out for me. So it was kind of like, oh, she's going for something that's never going to happen, and she's delusional and cringy at the same time. And my senior year of high school, I told everyone that I was moving to LA. But I was so scared of like having to move back to Louisiana and proving people right. Like, I was so scared that I was going to prove everyone right. And I was like, I would really need to figure this out, because I can't face that. Like, after years of like dealing with all of that ridicule and just shame for like wanting what I want and wanting to do what I wanted to do, like, I was like, there's no way that I don't figure this out. Whether, even if I didn't do what I was pursuing, like, even just figuring out a way to like live in LA, I was like, I have to do something. Like, there's no way. And also, I knew that Louisiana wasn't my forever home. I do miss it. Like, I love New Orleans. I love the culture, the food, the music.
Not the summer's heat.
Not the summer heat, but I do miss the really beautiful days and like the nature, like the water. Like,
oh my God, it's beautiful.
It's amazing. Like, there's so many memories that I have there that are absolutely amazing, but I knew it wasn't where I wanted to live forever.